students, in the last class we discussed about different types of classification systems and the advantages to classify the organisms. Means what are the advantages we have when we classify all the organisms which are present on the earth, right? See, coming to the next one, for suppose plants are there. If the plants are classified, what is the use to the human beings? Because we are classifying all the organisms. See, whatever the food, shelter, right, clothes, we are getting from the plants. Majority of the cases we are getting from the plants. See, food, plants are autotrophs. Rice, we are getting from the plants. Pulses, we are getting from the plants. Vegetables, we are getting from the plants. So food, okay, majority of the cases we are obtained from the plants. And shelter, see what we are constructing nowadays, these are the cement houses, right? But in the olden days, whatever the house constructions are there, mostly, okay, that time people use the wood material, right? But nowadays, somewhat technology is advanced, then we have the cement and different types of materials, brick, right, sand, we are using for the construction of the house. Even though still today's also we are using wood for the house construction, no doubt about it, whatever the doors, windows, right? See, wood metal we are using, majority of the cases, glass also there, but majority of the cases wood is definitely needed. Clothes, what we are wearing, the clothes, okay, we are preparing from the plants, whatever that cellulose fibers are there, the cellulose fibers, from that cellulose fibers, okay, we are preparing the clothes, right? So what is the advantage of the plants classification? If we have the classification which plants are produce the food and which plant produces the wood and which plant produces the cloth material, cloth producing raw material, if we know, then that is easy to cultivate. Then if we cultivate the plants, then we get the products. So that is the advantage of the classification of the plants, right? If we cultivate unwanted plants, then that is the negative effect to the human beings, because time is wasted, energy is wasted, right? Whatever the raw materials are we used, raw materials are wasted. So if we know regarding to all the plants, then particularly we selected some plants and we cultivated. So not only in this case, whatever that useful products we are getting from the different organisms, then if we have the classification, very easy to identify that organisms and very easy to produce the desired products, okay, which are needed for the human beings. So that is about that one of the advantages of the classification, right? Also, in the last class we discussed about that 5 kingdom classification and the 6 kingdom classification. Not only these two, there is in 2 and 3, 4, right, 5 and 6. These are the different types of the classification systems we discussed, right? So in all these, the most advanced classification is the 5 kingdom, because the 5 kingdom classification explains the evolution process in a proper manner compared with the remaining all classification systems. Even though the 6 kingdom classification also, some of the demerits are there, that's the reason why majority of the cases and throughout the world, majority of the scientists and majority of the research people following that 5 kingdom classification system. That's the reason why in the NCERT textbook we have that major explanation regarding to the 5 kingdom classification. So here today we are going to discuss about that the 5 kingdom classification system and different criterias which are means different criterias. Based on that criterias, the total organisms are classified. So here we are discussing now, the very first one is the character. So here we are discussing about the 5 kingdom classification system, right? 5 kingdom classification system. So this is one of the 5 kingdom classification system. We know in that case totally 5 kingdoms are there. So here the very first one is the Monera, and next one is the Protista, and next one is the fungi, plantae, and the animalia. These are the 5 kingdoms, right? The total organisms which are present on the earth, which are classified into the 5 kingdoms. So the very first one is the Monera, right? So here, based on the very first point here, the very first character is the cell type. what type of cells. We know upon the at two types of the cells are there. There is an prokaryotic cells are there and eukaryotic cells are there. We are already well known about that prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells because we discussed within the cell biology chapter what is the basic difference between prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells. If we think about the prokaryotic cells, see prokaryote, pro means before, karyote means nucleus, before the nucleus, cells before the nucleus means cells which are not having the nucleus, cells which are not having the nucleus. So these are the prokaryotes, right? And coming to the next one is the protista, within that case eukaryotes. So this one is the prokaryote and this one is the eukaryote. See, basic difference is here. This is the one of the cell. The cell contains the genetic material. The genetic material is naked, means nuclear membrane is absent here. In the case of the eukaryotes, this is the cell and this is the cell, right? And this is the genetic material. Okay, around the genetic material, nuclear membrane is present. Around the genetic material, nuclear membrane is present. So, based on presence and absence of the nuclear membrane, we can say the cells are prokaryotic cells or eukaryotic cells, right? Coming to the next one is the fungi. Fungi cells also eukaryotes. See, the very first primitive cells are the prokaryotic cells. From prokaryotic cells, eukaryotic cells are evolved. Sir, only based on the nuclear membrane. Only based on the nuclear membrane. Okay, we are saying prokaryotic cells are primitive cells and eukaryotic cells are advanced cells. Or is there any other factors or other characters are there? Definitely. Remember, if we take one prokaryotic cell and one eukaryotic cell, within the eukaryotic cells, more complexity is present. More complexity is present. Complexity means, see, the fine example is if we take one prokaryotic cell here, the cell organelles are only ribosomes. If we take one eukaryotic cell, in that case, ribosomes are there, mitochondria is there, chloroplast is there, and endoplasmic reticulum is there, Golgi complex is there. So, more complex is present in prokaryotic cells, less complex is present in more complex is present in eukaryotic cells. More complex is present in eukaryotic cells. Less complex is present in prokaryotic cells. So which organisms or which cells are having more complex, that cells or that organisms are considered as advanced organisms. Even we are the human beings, we have the more complex than remaining all organisms. That's the reason why we are more advanced than remaining all organisms. So what I am telling here, within the prokaryotic cells, very less complexity is there. Within the eukaryotic cells, more complexity is there. Based on complexity, we can say which cells are advanced and which cells are not advanced. So here, the prokaryotes, eukaryotes are there, and fungi is also eukaryotes, right? So all these are eukaryotes. We know the Plantae and the Animalia. But sir, all these are eukaryotes. Is there any differences are there? Definitely differences are there. We'll discuss. And the cell wall, here cell wall is present. Okay, here cell wall is present, here also cell wall is present, in fungi also cell wall is present, Plantae also cell wall is present. We know within the bacteria there is a particular cell wall is there, fungi also cell wall is there, Plantae cell wall is there, right? So here all these are having cell walls except Animalia. Within animal cells the cell wall is absent, right? So this is the basic difference between the cell wall regarding to the Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Coming to the next one is the cell wall composition. Here if we discuss about the cell wall composition, bacterial cells are having cell wall, Protista, fungi and Plantae. Okay, these four types of kingdoms having the cell walls, but the composition of the cell walls are different. The composition of cell walls are different. So if we think about, if we discuss about the Monera, right? Within that case, there is an bacteria cell wall. Within that case, there is a NAM and a NAG, N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine, right? N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine, right? These two are the components of the bacterial cell wall. See, these are also called peptidoglycans. These also called peptidoglycans, and these are also called mucopolysaccharides. These are also called mucopolysaccharides. These are the other names of the bacterial cell wall components. See, generally NAM and NAG specific components, which are also called peptidoglycans, which are also called mucopolysaccharides. It's also called mucopolysaccharides, right? So that is about that bacterial cell wall. So we know about that cell wall, right? Cell wall is majorly giving the mechanical strength and shape to the organisms. If we discuss about the Monera, right, bacteria, so based on that shape of the cell wall, we classified. There is in round shape of cocci, right, and there is in comma shape bacteria are there, right, which are called as Vibrio, right, and there is in rod shape bacteria which are called as Bacillus, right. There is in spherical shape, okay, spirochete and spirillum, right. So these are the different types of the bacteria based on the shape of the bacteria, right. And coming to the protista, here protista, different types of the organisms are there. All these are also unicellular, right. See, some of the organisms having the cell wall is made up of with the silica. Example is the diatoms. Here the silica contain these are the diatoms are the examples, and some of the organisms are having the stiff cellulose plates are there. Okay, here these are dinoflagellates. Next one we'll discuss, right? So stiff cellulose plates which are supporting for the formation of the cell wall, right? The example is nothing but here dinoflagellates. And rich protein layers. We know about the euglena. Euglena is the best example. Rich protein layer cell wall, right? And fungi is there. Fungi, the cell wall is made up of with chitin, right? And plants, we know richly cellulose is present, right? Hemicellulose is also present. Hemicellulose is also present. Suberin also present. Right? Pectin also present. Right? All these are components also present, but majorly cellulose. In animal case, composition is absent because cell wall is absent, then composition also absent, right? So that is about that cell wall and different types of the components of the cell walls. And body organization. See, all prokaryotic cells are unicellular organisms. All prokaryotic cells are unicellular organisms, right? See, prokaryotes means here Monera, and all unicellular eukaryotes. Protista, right? See, these are unicellular. That's why here these are unicellular. Protista means unicellular eukaryotes, which are included in the protista. So here body organization is the unicellular. And next one is the fungi. Fungi is the multicellular. But here tissues are absent. Here tissues absent. Within this case, tissues are absent. Within the fungi, tissues are absent. Means, sir, how this is possible? Most of the students have a doubt. See, this is the fungi. This is the fungi tube-like structure or filamentous structure or filamentous fungi. Inside the fungi, this is the cell wall. The cell wall is made up of with the chitin. So inside the cell wall, see many number of nucleus are there. See, many number of nucleus are there. This is multicellular, but tissues are absent because if one cell is connected to another cell, if a group of cells are connected like this, this is the tissue, but here there is no connection between the cells. So in fungi case, tissues are absent, right? And coming to the next one, okay, plant A. Within that case, these are multicellular. Tissues are present, and organs also present. A group of cells are connected. The connected cells are called as tissues. A group of tissues are connected, which forms the organs. So within the plants, leaf is the organ, right? There is a shoot part is there, stem, roots, right? Different organs are present within the plants. That is about the multicellular. And coming to the next one, Animalia. Within Animalia, there is tissues are present. Tissues are present. Organs are present. Organs are present, and organ system. Organ system also present. Right. So animals are there is a multicellular, right? Within that case, tissues are there. Group of tissues are connected, forms the organs, right? And group of organs are connected, forms the organ system, right? So that is about the Animalia case, right? So here body organization, Monera, unicellular, Protista, unicellular, fungi, multicellular, tissues are absent, right? Plantae, multicellular, tissues are present, organs are present, organ system is absent here. Here, all these are present, tissues are present, organs are present, organ system is present, right? And nuclear membrane, we know about this point, we already discussed. Monera, nuclear membrane is absent. Protista, nuclear membrane is present. Fungi, nuclear membrane present. Plantae, nuclear membrane is present. And Animalia, nuclear membrane is present, right? So this is about that, the basic type of 4 characters. Why I am saying 4 characters means cell wall composition also related to cell wall, right? So here cell type, cell wall, body organization, nuclear membrane. The last one is the nutrition. Remember the 5 kingdom classification, okay, done based on type of the cells and cell wall present or absent, right? Body organization, nuclear membrane. The last one is the nutrition. Basically based on these 5 characters, the 5 kingdom classification system, classifies the organisms. So the last one, nutrition. Okay, I will explain about the nutrition one by one, right? Based on nutrition, here all organisms are classified, right? This is the 5th character within the 5 kingdom classification system. So Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, Animalia, right? This is the separate table. But before discuss about these types of organisms, I like to discuss about what is autotroph, why this is called as photoautotroph, why this is called as photoheterotroph, why this is called as chemoautotroph, and why this is called as chemoheterotroph. Means several students have the doubts here. Photoautotroph means what? Chemoautotroph means what? Which organisms are called as photoheterotrophs? Which organisms are called as chemoheterotrophs? Right? So that is about that the explanation regarding to that different types of organisms. We know about plant, right? So plants are photoautotrophs because plants, okay, any organism for the synthesis of food material, majorly 2 sources are required. One is the energy source, and other one is the carbon source. So organisms means these are the different types of organisms, right? See, energy source and carbon source, and these are the different types of organisms. Photoautotrophs are there, photoheterotrophs are there, chemoautotrophs are there, chemoheterotrophs are there. The very first one is the photoautotrophs. We know the best example is the plants. Plants are photoautotrophs. Sir, why plants are photoautotrophs? Plants absorbs the light energy. And plants absorbs the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So what I am telling here, whatever that energy source required for the food synthesis, okay, the plants absorbs energy source. Light, and plant absorbs carbon source is the carbon dioxide. So, okay, this one is available within the environment, and this one is also available within the atmosphere, right? Atmosphere contains the carbon dioxide. We know, okay, sun provides the light. So, the photoautotrophs, which are absorbs the light energy, absorbs the carbon dioxide, right? So that's the reason why, which are not depends on any other organisms. Photoautotrophs are not depends on any other organisms. So these are photoautotrophs. And coming to the next one, photoheterotrophs. Here photo means light energy, which depends on light energy. Light energy, right? So which depends on light energy. And carbon source is a different here. Carbon source is the different. See, for the carbon source, the photoheterotrophs are depends on organic compounds. Photoheterotrophs are depends on organic compounds. Organic compounds are only available in other organisms. The organic compounds are only available within other organisms. So, photoheterotrophs, we know heterotrophs, organisms which are depends on other organisms for the food material, organisms which are depends on other organisms which are called as heterotrophs. So here, photo means which have the capacity to absorb the light energy, but these are heterotrophs because for the carbon purpose, for the carbon source purpose, right? These organisms are depends on other organisms because organic compounds are only available within the other organisms. So photoheterotrophs which are depends on other organisms for the carbon source purpose. Chemoautotrophs. See, inorganic compounds which are available within the soil. The inorganic compounds are available within the soil. And the carbon source is carbon dioxide. These organisms absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So chemoautotrophs absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and energy sources inorganic compounds absorbs from the soil. So these organisms also not depends on any other organisms. Okay, for inorganic compounds depends on soil. For carbon purpose depends on atmosphere. So which are not depends on any other organisms. So by the chemical reactions, energy is generated. That energy supporting for the synthesis of food material. Right? So that is about the chemoautotrophs. And last one is the chemoheterotrophs. Chemoheterotrophs means, see, energy source, organic compounds, carbon source, organic compounds. So these organisms are completely depends on other organisms. For the energy source depends on other organisms. For the carbon source purpose also depends on other organisms. Right? So the chemoheterotrophs are the complete dependent organisms. And for energy purpose depends on other organisms. For carbon source purpose depends on other organisms. Again, chemoheterotrophs, different types are there. See, we know some of the saprophytes, some of the chemoheterotrophs are saprophytes, or within chemoheterotrophs, saprophytes are there. Pathogens are there, and some are symbionts, symbiotic organisms. Symbionts is nothing but which are involved in the symbiosis process, right? So these are the major type, and one more type is also there, holozoic nutrition. So within chemoheterotrophs, again 4 types are there. Saprophytes means which are grown on dead and decaying organisms. These are called as saprophytes. Saprophytes means the organisms which are grown on dead and decaying organisms. Right? Maybe the fungi, maybe the some of the bacteria. Best examples. Right? So here the very first type of chemoheterotrophs are saprophytes. Saprophytes which are grown on dead and decaying organisms, maybe the fungi, maybe the some of the bacteria. Pathogens, so which are grown in living cells. Pathogens are grown in living cells, and which are involved in the destruction of host cells. And causes the diseases. Pathogens means organisms have the capacity to cause the diseases. So some of the organisms which are grown in living cells which causes the diseases, which are called as pathogens. Most of the diseases are caused by the bacteria. Right? All these bacteria are best examples. Cholera, right? Vibrio cholera is the bacteria. Mycobacterium tuberculosis causes the tuberculosis. Right? So different types of bacteria which are act as pathogens, and some are symbionts. Symbionts means, see, which are grown in living cells, but these are not harmful to the host cells, or which are not destructs the host cells. See, both are getting benefit. Both are getting benefit. Two different organisms which are interacted and surviving. Which are interacted and surviving. For suppose within the human intestinal tract, Escherichia coli, E. coli bacteria is surviving. Right? That E. coli getting food from the human body. Getting food from the human body. The advantage to the human body, it synthesizes the vitamin B12. The E. coli bacteria synthesizes the vitamin B12. So both organisms are getting benefit here. So this kind of organisms are called as symbionts. Right? See, symbionts also surviving within the living cells, but these are not harmful to the host cells. Holozoic nutrition. I already said engulfment of solid food material or injection of solid food material. Injection of solid food material. When we are eating food, that time we are making round balls, right? We are injecting into our mouth structure. So that is holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition. So all these are the types of the chemoheterotrophs. So chemoheterotrophs which are completely depends on other organisms for energy source and for carbon source, right? See, this is about the photoheterotroph and this is about the chemoheterotroph, right? Which are partially depend for energy purpose, which are not depends on other organisms, but carbon purpose, which are depends on other organisms. But chemoheterotrophs are not like that. For energy purpose, for carbon source purpose, which are depends on other organisms, right? So coming to the nutrition here, Monera is there. Within the Monera, photoautotrophs are there. Some bacteria are photoautotrophs, some bacteria are photoheterotrophs, some bacteria are chemoautotrophs, and some bacteria are chemoheterotrophs. So all types of nutrition are seen in Monera. All types of nutrition is seen in Monera. So the Monera organisms also called most diversified nutrition contained kingdom. Most diversified nutrition contained kingdom, because this is only one type of nutrition. This is only one type of nutrition. This one is also one type of nutrition. This one is also one type of nutrition. But all types of nutrition are seen in Monera. So most diversified nutrition is seen in Monera. Right? And Protista, coming to the next one is the Protista. See, which are having that chlorophyll pigments which performs the photosynthesis, right? Protista, these are photoautotrophs. Fungi is the saprophytes, which are grown on dead and decaying organisms, majority of the cases. That's the reason why, which are considered as saprophytes. Plant, we know, all plants having the chloroplast, and the chloroplast contains the chlorophyll, performs the photosynthesis process. Animalia, which are heterotrophs, especially holozoic nutrition. We know about the humans, we are injecting the food, holozoic nutrition. Within Animalia, holozoic nutrition is present, right? So that is about that the nutrition within the different kingdoms, right? So this is the explanation based on that 5 kingdom classification system. So majorly based on 5 characters, the total organisms are classified here, right? Next one we'll discuss about Monera kingdom.